Let's play some green-white Birthing Ritual. I think of all the decks that we've brewed up, like post MH3, of decks that didn't get a card unbanned for them, this one probably benefited the most. I think this deck is going to be insane, incredibly potent. Like Solitude Ephemerate is all of a sudden an incredibly good place to be. Thraben Charm is super good. I think that without the ring, this build is going to have a lot more game against the other energy decks than it used to. Very optimistic about this one. We've been 4-1ing with mono green Eldrazi with no ring and 6 even before the shakeups. I think that archetype is under repped. Do you think we want some Orvars in the sideboard for those at home who are looking to maybe pick it up? Play some Orvars. Oh, Scour and Oculus in the yard. If I was playing a challenge tomorrow, would I register? Maybe would have a better answer for you after this league, but there's a good chance this deck would be submitted. I kind of want to play green-red Woodlands. We're also not going to be playing any tournaments this weekend, I think, because we've got the Cube for Charity thing coming up. I forgot to get like extra details for y'all today. Talking more about it on Thursday. Have I played any Brood Scale? Not post-ban. We've done a little bit pre-ban. Well-timed Force of Negation. I do think this matchup historically has been very good. Is there some info? I've retweeted the Cube stuff. So it's like 8 streamers. We're going to be grinding Cube all weekend in a trophy race against each other. And I know whoever gets more trophies wins. I don't know if they get more charity for theirs. I know the charity our team is doing is for suicide prevention and awareness, or our 2 charities. I can't remember which 2 they are. Caleb picked them. Yeah, but it starts on Friday, so we're gonna be streaming Cube all weekend, which would be fun. So hopefully this ritual resolves. I think we should go for ritual plus Pride here. They have another force. I'm on Caleb's team. They do have another force. Iskmir Iron Eater wrecked me so bad. That's cool because I built that deck pre-Mopal. Maybe we should circle back. Like, sacrificing Sojourner's Companions to that card is pretty cool. No attacks, huh? I think I'm going to go Witness for Arid Mesa, because I can go Ranger-Captain plus 1-drop next turn. Also, if they have Counterspell, I think I'd rather them counter this. I was the last round opponent totally embarrassed myself by letting take my K command. I mean, I've made that like same mistake a bunch of times. Easy mistake to make. Don't sweat it. We also get to surveil like this. Opal sure to revive Semblance Anvil. I mean, maybe. I think Opal is a lot worse in Semblance Anvil than it is in 8-key. But I don't know. Anvil could be back. Ring was really annoying for the Anvil deck, where you couldn't grinding station kill them. It was like actually like a big deal. And also if you cast your own ring, it was always awkward. You couldn't grinding station yourself. So there's actually a lot of games where like both players had cast a ring and like your deck didn't do anything. So it's kind of weirdly really good. I think we graveyard that. I do think my opponent has a counter spell in their hand. They have what it takes to fire it off on this White Orchid Phantom. If they do, that's a pretty big W for us, I think. They kind of have to because the land is just tapped. What does my ideal chat look like? I think we have a wonderful Twitch chat here. I have no complaints. Do you think Frog is going to be a problem in Modern? Not really. I think people will complain about this card for sure, but if this is like the best thing, if this is the best card in the format in Modern, I think we have a very good format, a very exploitable format, hopefully. It's just not like it is in Legacy with Wasteland and Daze and Force of Will. Why don't you play counterspell decks as much anymore? Well, we trophied with a Jeskai control deck yesterday. So it's a, you know, maybe not a great time to complain about counterspell decks. But maybe also simply put, like, there's just less innovation to do with counterspell decks. Like usually there's like one playable tempo deck and one playable control deck. And like there's like, as far as things you can do in that range, like there's not often a lot of room for exploration. But sometimes there is, and sometimes we play them. Just for fewer deck lists in chat. Yeah, if people could just send deck lists in between rounds instead of in like the most tense moments of the tournament, that'd be great. We do have a good chat here. It's well managed, well maintained, good conversations. All right, there's an Oculus. Might lose game one. This matchup is really good though. I think Raptor was the right ban. I mean, it's tough because all of these cards are so close in power level. All of the energy cards. Hard to say for sure, but I would have banned Raptor over a Johnny or Guide or Flage. Yeah, with them still having cards in hand and us drawing another land, probably going to go to game 2 in a second. Guide was 100% the better ban. That's interesting. It's interesting that we feel like we could even say that this early into the environment. So like I think one good argument for banning Raptor is like Raptor has the highest upside of all these cards by a lot. It is, I think it's kind of just the most busted. Like whenever you it's sometimes it's like kind of mid, but whenever you cast Blood Moon off of it, cast Flage off of it, cast a Johnny off of it, it's just so insane. Let's go to game 2. Another thing about Guide and like why I wouldn't have banned Guide is like of between a Johnny, Flage, Ocelot Pride, Amped Raptor, Guide of Souls. Guide of Souls is the only one that doesn't generate a card advantage. Sorry, Athena. I don't know. It just feels early to be like super confident, I think, and what was the right thing to do. And I think Guide of Souls makes it easier to just like sideboard sweepers and stuff against it. But I will on the flip side of this, it does seem like that is like the prevailing opinion. I think Sanctifier just like as kind of hexproof. Attacks the graveyard a little, probably better than White Orchid Phantom. It does seem like that like most people do think it's Guide. Oh yeah, we 4-1, don't pay out the prediction. But you know, this is also something about like it was 100% Guide of Souls. Like I think it's hard to argue that the power level of Guide of Souls, Ocelot Pride, Amped Raptor, a Johnny Flage is not there. It's all very close. Like the power level of all of these cards is very similar. Static Prison also. You could maybe have banned Static Prison. It's all pretty close. And so I don't think it really mattered too much which one you took, but just taking something. And taking the one with the highest upside, I think made sense. Does this deck have some combo win con? Yeah, this is really like a green-white control deck. I know it's a bit non-traditional, but you're kind of just assembling a late game, like Eternal Witness, Ephemerate, plus like your best card, where you're like looping Ranger-Captain with that, you're looping Solitude with that, you're looping Thraben Charm, Skyclave. You're controlling the board with Guide of Souls, like you're building a big board of presence with Guide of Souls, Ocelot Pride. But yeah, you are just trying to get to the late game and trying to answer all your opponent's threats. It's at least how I play this deck. I feel like Raptor's a lot worse without Guide. Yeah, but also Guide is worse without Raptor, and a Johnny is worse without Raptor too. So it's just like that's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter too much which one you take. No Green Sun Zenith. Yeah, I mean look at our deck. We have very few cards that get Green Sun gets in this build. Raptor's biggest issue is a free red permanent for Johnny. I mean, Raptor's biggest issue is that it could cast a Johnny, and it could be a Johnny plus red permanent on turn 2. It could cast Blood Moon, and be a 2/1 on turn 2. It could cast the Wandering on turn 2, you know? Like that. Like, it was just really, really dumb when you cast a 3 or 4 mana spell on it, and you got a 2/1. I'm surprised by no chant. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played it within the deck before. I don't think it's super necessary. I think Thraben Charm kind of occupies a pretty similar space. Could have a Spell Pierce here or Force. We'll play the Sanctifier. Would I ever consider taking a role in WotC's ban list for Modern? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That would be the death of the stream if I was in charge of the Modern bans. We would the chat would be full of nothing but essays on like why Deathrite Shaman isn't even a good card. Just unban it. You know, it just there's I would hate that. I would hate for this to be. I would hate to be in control of the Modern ban list. It would actually ruin my life, I think. Yeah, that's not even talking about the death threats. All right, let's get in with both. If they Bowmaster, that's good for me because I can resolve the ritual. Oh, okay. I guess I can resolve ritual now, or try to cast. I'll cast it now. Would I want to secretly be in charge of the ban list? No, I mean, if it paid a ton of money, then yeah. But no, I'm not that interested. But also, I don't know. I could just say what I would like, and you know, I made a YouTube video talking about what I would like to have happen. Would I check the job if I had to sign an NDA? Maybe. Alright, you got a Force of Negation. They do. Come on. I've cast. Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry, take it back. Do you know why nobody plays Timeless? I mean, I'm probably maybe a good person to answer this because I started to play it. I spent like $1,000 like on Timeless cards, and I was pretty into it. I liked Timeless, and then it kind of just felt like the format had no motion. Like it wasn't popular, and there were no cool tournament series to play, and Arena is just not super fun. I don't really enjoy the client. I don't know. There's just like a lot I disliked about it, I guess. But and then also like Timeless kept changing really drastically with MH3 and Show and Tell and Mana Drain. Maybe not Mana Drain so much. Do you think Box was unbanned because of the new sweeper tamping down on effect decks? It's definitely part of it, yeah. For sure. Yeah, I do prefer Magic Online to Arena. It's like better economy. I think it's a better client to play on. The league system is a lot more enjoyable for me than the like ladder system. Could sack the Ranger-Captain and resolve Guide and Pride. Seems a little spewy. I think I'm happy enough to trade for a counterspell if they even have one. I don't even describe Arena as having an economy. Yeah, I mean this is what I'm talking about. Arena is just garbage economy or garbage. Like it's just predatory, inflexible. And also it's just very hard to get into. Like every time I want to like get into a Magic Arena format, it costs me like $1,000. It's crazy. Do I want to put a Witch Enchanter into play so I could get a Solitude off of it? Seems okay. I also get an energy. Thankfully, I don't have to destroy my Birthing Ritual. Is Mono like really expensive? How much money would I need for like 3 modern decks? So what I do and what I recommend most people do is use a rental service. So I use Mana Traders. You could use Card Hoarder too, and you can use Card Hoarder too. And if you do so, you could just rent any deck you want to play for a flat monthly fee. It's like $60, $70, something like that. Mine is less. Mine's like 40 because I've had it for like 5 years, and you can even make some extra money every month too. All right, good push. Is it an Oculus? Don't think I'm going to Solitude the Oculus so I can just Skyclave it. Yeah, right now there's an all access pass for $25. It only lasts until the 2nd. It's been going on for like 6 days or something. But yeah, you can still for $25 you can have access to all the cards for a little while longer. I'll go ahead and sack this Skyclave for another copy of Ranger-Captain. We'll grab an Ocelot Pride. All right, going to game 3. Think that it's worth running 6 in Rhinos to retrace Cascaders, or is 2 slow and consistent too worthwhile? Could be okay. I like 6. I will say that like it doesn't usually feel like Rhinos is in search of like more 3-drops, you know what I mean? But 6 is a pretty good 3-drop. Well, I'm not going to click the mulligan button, so that leaves me with one choice. Has Oculus been a factor in Legacy? I don't know. Good question. Mana Tree sponsors a couple streamers on Twitch, so you could even support one of them. Yeah, for sure. Not me, but I think Doomwake has one. The Dive Down podcast. Thanks, Herd. Starting to see Fringe play post Frogban. Thank you. Oh, of course Caleb plays that. I love to watch Caleb brew with Legacy. So fun. Have I ever got mustache only? No. I don't think I could pull it off. I do kind of want to shave my beard, but Esther is pretty against it. Interesting. Shock in the Water Grave, but not a counterspell. Maybe a Bowmaster? Bowmaster's pretty bad against us if we don't have Ocelot in play. Yeah, that's fine. If they had pushed the guide, we probably should cash in. We should have cashed in the Ephemerate, but that isn't what happened. Sub goal, it may be. I think that was the last charity stream we did. I think that was one of the incentives that we didn't get to. Okay, so I block here, they unearth. I block here, they cast Bowmaster. I think I would love for them to cast Bowmaster because then I could just resolve Birthing Ritual. I Ephemerate the guide. Why do you prefer that version of Ritual over Sultai with Satoro? The interaction you get from Pitch Elemental? I mean, the card quality in this deck is much higher than the one in that deck. That's the short answer. The cards here are better than the cards there. So interesting that they're doing this after the block. You would think that they would want the thing to be a 2/2. I'm not sure if there's anything I'm missing. This is working out better for me, though. Yeah, I think that's fair, Connie. Yeah, I want this Ephemerate in the yard for Eternal Witness, so we'll go ahead and cast it. Then we'll jam the Birthing Ritual. Okay. Not sure how many snares people are playing right now, but there's one. What's my favorite modern deck ever? My favorite modern deck ever is Sultai Uro Gifts Ungiven, where you can gifts for Mystic Sanctuary and Loam and like a big instant sorcery, like an Hour Promise or oh, they have enough cards for Oculus. Yeah, I was hoping to Endurance before they could Oculus, but they did get the 6th card in the yard. I would also prefer to not have to pitch Solitude on this, but we might have to. What is the best ritual deck? The best Birthing Ritual deck? I think it's this one. I think this deck is incredible. I'm a big believer. Might not have the option of pitching. Well, that's an insane draw. Over the Samwise deck? Mm-hmm. I think Samwise is mid. It's like fine. I genuinely think this is one of the better modern decks. I know it's like not a deck a lot of people have seen, but it's a deck that like has been pretty good for us like pre-shakeup. And I think basically everything, like all the stars aligned for this deck to be even better. I think it's good against the looting decks. It's good against the Opal decks. It's good against basically everything. It's insane against Dimir. Maybe creativity is a poor matchup. We'll kind of see. There's a chance that that's the case, but you just have like such an insane late game. I think our energy matchup has likely kind of gone back to being good. I just love this deck. I'm a big fan, big believer. Yeah, Orm's Chant might be good. I haven't play tested it. It's probably something we need to get around to. I definitely think it's a good option. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump the guide here. Titan matchup. Titan matchup is fine. It's a lot better now that Ring is banned. But you have a lot of Disenchants and you have Damping Sphere in the sideboard. It would also be better if you had Orm's Chant. Okay. 1/2 Frog, not too scary with me having 3/4 Guide and Endurance. Hopefully this is not like another Frog, but I guess it won't be, right? They would have already used it. Yeah, Solitude Ephemerate is also like better position than it has been in like at least a year, probably. So hopefully they can't break this up. Nice. Ooh, drew a Thraben Charm. Cool. So let's main phase this. I think we just pick up a land we can surveil. We have Thraben Charm or Endurance up. This mid-range build looks cool. I've been having success with the control builds. It's a good time to be Wrath of Skies. A control build of green-white? I didn't know if it was like possible to build the deck that way. We trophied yesterday with Just Guy. Merry Christmas, Oko. Is Twin good at Modern now? Twin is somewhat playable, yeah. It is. I think it's not one of the better decks, but I think if you spend time tuning your list and understanding your matchups, you can have a positive win rate in leagues, and it's probably not the best tournament deck. I think there will be metagames where it's better, metagames where it's worse. Okay, so they discarded Darkslick Shores to grow the Psychic Frog, but they can't get it big enough to kill my Guide of Souls. Yeah, one card in their hand. I don't think that this is a creature. Well, I mean, it is a creature. There's no fears manifested for me underneath. It's banned with Archaeologist Trainer Flare Package ICIC. Daniel with the 34 months. Thank you. Welcome back. So we have an Ephemerate coming off Rebound. My opponent decided to cycle the Nile Spellbomb. Out of Surveil lands. Yeah, they probably should have waited on the Nile Spellbomb. So now why don't we go ahead and go Thraben Charm to deal 6 damage to the frog. Ephemerate the Witness, buy back the Thraben Charm. I'm going to do this main phase because like they don't seem like they have anything to break this up. This is GG. I suck. GG. Merry Christmas. Thanks, Swamps. Urza Saga package plus Patchwork Cannoneer, 20 eggs and 2 Mox Opals and 2 salvage. What the hell? 2 Mox Opals, 20 eggs. What is Teeg to hedge against? Teeg is really good against Eldrazi. It turns off Kozilek's Command, Through the Breach, All is Dust, Karn the Great Creator. Used to turn off Ring, but anti-Eldrazi card. There's a lot of Eldrazi today. Also turns off Creativity. Pretty good tool. I feel like Birthing Ritual and Oculus have a lot of synergy. Yeah, I think so. So we were talking a little bit about a like Malevolent Rumble Oculus deck where you get to go Rumble into Oculus. Could be like a Bant build. This like definitely Amulet Titan. This is a rerun. I've heard you say all these things before. There's a lot of repeats. Repeated conversations here. Seems like getting the White Orchid Phantom in place so I could chain it into something a bit bigger is okay. I have another Guide of Souls in my hand anyways. Okay, so they can Haywire Mite my Birthing Ritual with the Wall of Roots. Very good for them to have Wall of Roots plus Might here. And very bad for me to not have drawn another land. Draw land next turn are probably good shape. Not snipe with 12 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Thank you for not sniping. Don't really want to White Orchid Phantom them since they might be stuck on black mana. But I think I will just play the second White Orchid Phantom and start flying in and pressuring their life total. I think that's a bit more mana efficient than playing Guide of Souls. How do you feel about Phoenix? I think I like my Izzet Phoenix build. I would recommend it. I think it's a good deck. Thanks, Adam. Appreciate you. All right. Your turn. 4 cards in their hand. Think Yawgmoth is back? It seems playable, yeah. I don't think Greenstone is good in the deck, but I think I was thinking of it wrong. It's just like a better... it's like a better than Delighted Halfling, because it's just a better top deck. And there's not so many Bowmasters right now, but if there's more Bowmasters, that might change. So they're one short of courting for Yogg, so this is like a Green Sun for Grist. Okay, Grist is not very good on this board. D5 mode Alexa Snide, Yorgo option. Well, you have customizable Yorgos in the chat box here. I'll kill the Wall of Roots here. Swamp Soul Ringo. Great username. Thank you for the Twitch Prime. Kind of feels like they maybe have a Court of Calling. They may have Cauldron. They may have Cauldron, yeah. It's true. At that point, I think we could just hope to top deck us a land for a Skyclave. So they have 5. So even if I was to Skyclave something here, they could still court for Yogg next turn. Hopefully the last card is not a court like I think it is. They do keep a card on top. They did think about it for a little bit, though. Which makes it more likely their other card is Cord. Yeah, there it is. Not just game over, but we need to draw land. Or a Solitude, I guess. Would much rather draw land. I think there's some tension with Birthing Ritual in the 1-drops because they're so good you don't want to sack them. Well, what's one nice thing about Ocelot Pride is you can stack the triggers where you get a token, and then you can sack the token to get another good 1-drop instead. And I don't know, just sack Guide of Souls, get a 2-drop, or don't. Just do whatever's best for you on the board. I think it's like there's very few good 1-mana creatures to sack for value. It's like Young Wolf and Blister Colt Pod. Just play Guide of Souls instead, and your card quality is a lot higher. So this lets them draw their deck. Let's go and just go to game 2. Fruitcake, 28 months. Welcome back. No preordained Phoenix list surprised me. Yeah, it's just not as good as Scour, Consider, Eluding, or Highway Robbery. Alright, so Sanctifier is not like somehow good against them now, right? Stops Cauldron Grist. Cauldron Yawgmoth. So the Teeg seem actually really good against Green Sun Zenith Court of Calling. I think I want to leave in exactly 1 Haywire Mite. Second could be okay. End of Cantrip era. Some legacy decks have been less than 4 Ponder as well. Yeah, it's like cantrips are just not as good as they used to be. Where it used to be your card quality was lower and you had less insulation against Mana Flood, Mana Screw. And like cantrips are just the best way to find your higher quality cards and facilitate against Mana Flood, Mana Screw. But now it's like we have MDFCs and you know we have so many tools to facilitate mana flood, mana screw that don't just not impact the board. If that's the case, do you think Ponder would be fine? I don't think Ponder would break Modern. I don't know if Ponder would be even particularly good in Modern. I do think that the card Ponder is not necessarily a card I'd love to see in the format though, because players resolving Ponder can take like upwards of 2 minutes sometimes to resolve that card, which I don't think is great. Here's Graveyard that. Okay, Command has the same problem. Yeah. I think it's an issue. I just want Miracles of Modern. Yeah, I know everyone is only ever agenda posting in here. Instead of wanting Modern to be as good as possible, they just want Pet Deck unbanned. I get it. That's fine. Yeah, I think Ponder's just bad gameplay card. I tend to think of Paper Germs where a 2-minute Ponder would evolve a Judge. In theory, yeah, but here's the reality of the 2-minute Ponder. 10 seconds pass, 20 seconds pass, 30 seconds pass. You're like, okay. And then it's like, you don't usually like actually say anything till like a minute has gone by, right? And then a minute has gone by, and you finally feel like, okay, I need to say something. The game has got to progress, but then the Ponder's done resolving. It's like it's just barely long enough that it's difficult to actually get a judge involved. You know what I mean? Dude, yeah, you can play Orm's Chant. I don't think it's super necessary or whatever, but you can play it. It's fine. There's a good chance it's correct. And then also like when your time for you as the player resolving the Ponder, like it doesn't feel like 1 or 2 minutes for you. It feels like 10 to 30 seconds. And so like your opponent you call the judge because your opponent's taking too long to resolve Ponder, and like, what are you talking about? It's only like 30 seconds. And then you break their concentration, and the Ponder still takes longer to resolve. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but I just think it's a little bit of a headache. Enough of a headache that I would prefer to see it stay banned. Yeah, exactly, Blue. Definitely more of a theory than a practice thing. Okay, perfect. This is a 24-hour stream. 24-hour stream is on New Year's Eve / New Year's Day. They're playing a week with the unbans, what feels the strongest? I think Looting is the best card of the unbans so far. Alright, so they got 3 cards in their hand, no board. We have an Ephemerate coming down for the Witness that they got to deal with. Do you feel like energy is sufficiently nerfed? Yeah, I mean, I think for now, it's still a playable. I think it's kind of perfect where it's still a playable deck. So the players who bought into it post MH3 can still play these cards, and it does feel like the games are a lot more manageable, and it's kind of back to actually having bad matchups again. And It is performing really well now. This could just be because it's still like the best deck. That might not be the case though. It might end up being the case that it's kind of interesting. It might end up being the case that whoa, they're not fighting my Eternal Witness. That's probably wrong. Although they did hit 2 tokens. It might be the case that like that Mardu energy does just stay tier 1 for the time being. That could happen. It could also be the case that the deck is just very easy to build early and is good against like is kind of good against the untuned brews that you see in week 1, and the metagame can evolve to where energy falls out. That's possible. That's what I'm hoping for. Hoping for a metagame where it just seems like, yeah, energy. I hope we say sometime soon, yeah, energy isn't that good right now. That would be awesome. What could you place Ring with in Scepter Chant to keep the Hinge plan? I don't know. Ring was so important there. The Ring being banned made Boros energy better. Surely Ring, Gigantha, and Raptor being banned didn't make energy better. And looting unbanned, Opal unbanned, like all of these things surely are net negative. I would hope. Could get back the other Ephemerate, but I think now I'm just gonna grab Ocelot Pride and Boseiju the Cauldron. They got no cards in their hand. I guess I draw step Boseiju so I don't let them get another Surveil. Is that bad against anything? Like they get to put 1 counter on something. That doesn't really matter though. So Dingo played an Obosh energy deck yesterday. It's kind of interesting. Almost definitely not correct to lose to Johnny and Bombardment. Just gives more time. We'll figure out energy again like we did with Ring Energy. I do think Jeskai Mockingbird, there's a very good chance that that is the best energy shell. I like that deck a lot. I guess I stopped them. I guess they can XL this, huh? Maybe this was the problem. But again, like letting them surveil before they untap is so huge here. Like I just have lethal if they brick. Do you think combo decks like Station, Breach, Storm, Brute Scale are still the best counter for energy? Yeah, like Amulet Titan, Storm. Yeah, sure. Of course. I think this deck, there's a chance that this is a good the kind of the evolution of this deck here is that before Energy was playing Ring, I felt like this archetype was great against them. Then they started playing Ring, then I felt like it was bad. And so I want to see if that dynamic has shifted. A Sire of 7 Deaths now seems like maybe it's a bit better against them. You'd like just tap out for that. We played Seismic Assault today when like Crushed Energy. Like it's the deck is a lot easier to attack. Like also Control with Wrath Disguise is now a lot better against it too. The deck is so much easier to attack now that they can't just like tap out for the Ring after you've interacted with them. Endurance is really good against Jog, surprisingly good. Could you expand on that? Because in my experience, it's been mediocre. But if you wanted to expand and tell me why, I'd love to hear. Yeah, the Oculus decks are a lot better against Synergy than they used to be. It's true. Should I learn Titan or play Reanimator in New Modern? Creativity is a bit better than just like normal Reanimator. Although I think the Mardu Goryo's deck's got some potential. If you want to win a lot, you should play Titan. Anything with Rakdos Sack? I've been thinking a little bit about it. I haven't committed to retooling the deck yet, I guess. Sure, it clogs up the board. Is clogging up the board good in this matchup? I feel like they love a clogged board. You can stop a combo sometimes. But although in this matchup, comboing is less important because I don't think I block. In this matchup, comboing is like a lot less important because like they mostly care about like controlling your board with removal. And it has flash. Okay, okay, it does have flash. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've played a lot of Yogg, and I don't think I agree for the most part. Oh, sorry, I should have got Temple Guard in. Sorry about that. Because I should have been able to go Pride, Ephemerate, and Pride next turn. I mean, they have a Bowmaster, so I'm not gonna do anything yet. What's my opinion of Brood Skull? Brood Skull's a great deck. Good deck. Yeah, I don't know. As a Yogg player, I'm really happy to see opposing endurances usually. Could be wrong. Like, if I was going to play Yogg against Green-White, I'm probably boarding out my Blood Artist. You know what I mean? Just not even going to be in on the combo, probably. So I might Ephemerate my Ranger-Captain, so I probably want to put the counters on the Guide of Souls. Maybe we could have still attacked with the Ranger-Captain, but they could have Endurance. We're going to find a good Titan list. Canister probably has a good one out. Yeah, Dom Harvey too. Did play around Endurance. They do have enough cards to cord for a Yawgmoth now. After Battle Mage doing well, do you think it's less than the sideboard of Eldrazi Breach? Yeah, maybe. I kind of like the idea of that. Might get quad Ocelots. Instead, I guess let's go grab a Guide of Souls right now. Yeah, Naya with Bombardment and Softy combos an option too. Like here, unless they go for Ritual, they need a combo to win. Well, no, that Yawgmoth is just going to kill all my fucking creatures. You know, right? Also, like, Endurance would, like, I wouldn't have a green card here. I don't know. Maybe casting Endurance. Yeah, I wouldn't have a 3 mana either. Yeah, like, yeah, Yogg just kills your guys, and they just draw a lot of cards, and they just kill more of your guys, and they draw more cards. But I might be able to pressure their life total enough here. Got 7 cards in their hand. I don't think they've played their land yet. Yeah, they hit their 3rd land drop last turn. Seems like a hard matchup. Yeah, maybe. We're quad Solitudes deck. I think that we're playing less Skyclaves than we used to, so it's a bit worse. I think they're probably favored. We might still win this one. Definitely don't want to sack the Ranger-Captain, because I want to be able to jump it without them killing with Yawgmoth. Although, we can get another Guide of Souls. So if I get another Guide of Souls off Ranger-Captain, I have 6 energy, then 7, then 8, then 9, and I could triple jump. Is that better? I don't know if that's better. I think it's worse than double jumping here. Because like they could just kind of kill whatever else I jump, right? They might even kill this guy before I jump anything. Okay, I have 6 energy, so I don't need to do anything right this moment. So let's just go ahead and go to combat. I am going to send with all the cats, of course. I'm going to jump the Guide and the Ranger-Captain. Title of a children's book, The Guide and the Ranger-Captain. Blood Moon or Bust, like 18 months. Sorry, we haven't registered Blood Moon in a bit. So I'm pretty surprised that they... Yeah, they should have sacked all 3 things to kill the guide. I think that was a little bit mistakey wakey on their part. 2-0, let's go. No, it's just this one. I genuinely think this deck is like just. I recommend this deck a lot. So a little clickbaity, but trying to get y'all to play a good deck in Modern. How do I like my eggs? I usually like them just crack. I just like to crack them in my hands and watch them drain down to the drain. Is Uro fine in Modern? I would never unban Uro. If you unban Uro, it would immediately be the best card draw spell in the format. The card is also just miserable. Just totally miserable. We might be playing against Eldrazi Breach, against a huge fan who's going Grove Ancient Stirrings. Fried or Fertilize. I like a mix. Alright, Ancient Stirrings in the Saga. I can Thraben Charm the Saga. I'm gonna play Birthing Ritual this turn, though. Why to play a good deck when I could play Twin? That is an excellent question. One I still have not found the answer to. Yeah, so we get to sack the cat token, put a Guide of Souls into play. Pass the turn. Yeah, this is like an untapped Painless Tri-land in their deck. Too bad Ocelot Pride doesn't trigger on both turns, huh? Oh, they're playing Brood Scales. Interesting. Kind of surprised to see the red splash. Alright, let's see what we scry to the top here. Ranger-Captain. Well, we can't really effectively Birthing Ritual into that. I think I try to kill the Brood Scale with the Thraben Charm. It's obviously like tempting to kill the Saga, but I'm just gonna die to the combo if I don't, I think. So there's another Guide of Souls, which is all we can get here. Next turn we can maybe parlay Witness into like a Skyclave or Witch Enchanter or something like that. Has anyone seen a lot of Twin? I've seen a little Twin, not a lot. We consider White Flare. We had White Flare in an earlier draft. There's just not a lot of board wipes right now. Any chance for Primal Prayers update? Yeah, I have, like, a lot of people have come into the chat and they've been like, "Hey, Spiky Baby, does Green Sun Zenith make Primal Prayers better? That's my deck." And I haven't really thought about it very much. It does get Greenbelt Rampager. It gets 6 and it doesn't really get anything else. So it could be, could not. I will try to figure it out, I guess. Any cookbook brewing? Yeah, we put a couple cookbook decks. We forward with Looting, Opal, Asmo, Galvanic Blast, and I think we 3-2'd with the Time Sieve deck. Might have been 2-3 with Time Sieve, I can't remember. Alright, Witch Enchanter, Skyclave Apparition. So we didn't find one of those. Our options are to grab and sacrifice a Ranger-Captain, which doesn't do a lot. I think instead, let's go and sack a Guide of Souls and get a White Orchid Phantom and snag the Saga. And then I'm kind of tempted to, like, how many basics can they even be playing? I think there's a good chance they only have one basic. They might have more, but if they're playing Grove, they might only have one. Yeah, I don't know. Also, sometimes when you play White Orchid Phantom, you get like maybe they only have one basic. Oh, sorry, I should have done an upkeep though, because that taps the land. Damn it, sorry about that. Yeah, that was way better to upkeep the Ephemerate because the land is tapped. I was just so thirsty to Stone Rain them. I was so thirsty. I played 4/4. Yeah, the Grove of the Burn Wolves made me think they were playing less. Yeah, I'm a big fan. You can't be a fan of Christmas Eve. Earn this. Yeah, I thought Grove made me think they're maybe playing less basics. Why not draw step? Yeah, I was just thirsty. You know what I mean? It was definitely better to upkeep or draw step. Did you ever look Punishing Fireband? No, Eldrazi decks just sometimes play Grove of the Burned Willows because it taps for red and colorless and green and doesn't cost any life. And if you're like a combo deck like this, you don't really care about gaining your opponent life. Ooh, Frontline Medic. I do love that card. Okay, so this breaks up my Eternal Witness Ephemerate. So I guess we are going to rebound on the White Orchid Phantom. Okay. Good to get a basic count too. Well, I guess let's go to combat first. We're looking for a Skyclave Apparition, Witch Enchanter off of either of our Birthing Rituals. Opponent takes a big hit here. Graveyard because we're going to have triple ritual trigger here. Looking for Skyclave Apparition. Looking for Witch Enchanter. And as a typical rule of thumb, if I have cat tokens in play, I let the Birthing Rituals resolve first so we could get extra Guide of Souls triggers. And if I don't, I let the Ocelot Pride trigger resolve first because you want to be able to sack your cats. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and grab the Captain first. I do think upkeep sack can be good against like Rumble, Karn, K-Command. Maybe good to go after the Grove. I feel like my basic land destruction thirst has been quenched. Okay, there's a Skyclave Apparition. So, gotta grab that. Can't get the Solitude with no Witch Enchanter in play. Does seem good to go after the Blade, because if we go Exile Blade and then sack Ranger-Captain, they just can't combo. Well, we couldn't leave a mana open and play both Ritual. I think it's... You have to play the third Ritual. Alright. Up a game. So that's game one, and we get to bring in some Collector Ouphes and Haywire Mites. Extra Mite's a little awkward with the Ouphes. I think it's fine. We also have the Witch Enchanters, so a lot of good interaction against them. Thraben Charm is pretty good. Teeg turns off Walking Ballista. Oh, no, it doesn't turn off Ballista, sorry. It only turns off Kozilek's Command. K-Command is really good. Maybe I should still bring one in. Do I have any bad cards in the matchup? Not really. This could be a matchup to cut Guide of Souls. Sometimes I cut Guide. Let's play one Teeg. Oh yeah, Karn also. Let's play one Teeg. I think I want a couple White Orchid Phantoms. Let's go down an Ephemerate, down a Ranger-Captain, down a Guide. Let's go to 2 Guide, 3 Witness, actually. With this deck, what, one more 4-drop, maybe Resto? I mean, I love Restoration Angel. I think that card is not a playable modern card, unfortunately. It breaks my RTR Innistrad standard heart to say that. But I can't tell you if I've ever seen a good Restoration Angel deck. I used to see a little bit of play in the old Twin eras. No, I guess there have been some Kiki core decks. Yeah, in Court of Calling decks, it's been okay sometimes. But I don't know. I haven't reached for that card in a long time. It is one of my favorite cards ever. Resto's like a top 10 favorite card of mine. Resto be modern playable is green. I mean, it would be better in the Green Sun Zenith format for sure. Well, how do we feel about going shields down here? Seems like I could just hold up the Boseiju. Did I not play in the pod arrows? Absolutely in pod. I didn't play very much in that era, no. I played a little bit. But it wasn't in like Malera pod. It was in like the Kiki pod deck, which I didn't see that often. Why do you think they got rid of the Pioneer Pro Tour? Well, probably because they realized there had been way too many Pioneer Pro Tours already. Like Pioneer for some reason was way overrepresented on the Pro Tour RC scene. Sorry. Pro Tour RC scene. And I think they wanted to change that. I think how they went about it was weird. Like I think they should have just said we have one modern, we have one standard, we have one pioneer. Resto Angel is in Vanifar combo. It's fair. So we're gonna get K commanded, I guess. Let's attack first. I don't know if murdering Pioneer was the right way to do it. I mean, did they murder Pioneer? I don't know. Maybe they did. But will there be Pioneer Spotlight Series events this year to play in? I think that there will probably be those. I'd be pretty happy if they exile Guide of Souls, I think. I'm a lot more scared of Scry Draw here. Okay, Spawn Exile is actually maybe that was the scarier. Maybe that was scarier. It was a Malaria pod with Siege Rhino. Like I didn't play much during the Siege Rhino era. Maybe it was. Well, might be going to game 3. Wasn't old tempo like standard, modern, standard, pioneer. I mean, as far as Pro Tours went, they always kind of messed with the formula a lot. Like I feel like they a lot of times they did like one modern Pro Tour every 2 years for a while. I think like for a long time it was just standard Pro Tours. Like Pro Tour was just standard every single time. And then this was also I think because Pioneer was created after Pro Tours were killed for the first time. So glad that they're back. And then like I played like the team Pro Tour. I played Legacy at the only Pro Tour you could ever play Legacy at. It's pretty fun. They used to always have block constructed. I actually like block constructed. They were not very popular though. Okay, no payoff, just make it a 17-17. We'll accept that. This Collector Ouphe is kind of interesting. Pretty sure I'm just gonna plop this Witch Enchanter down here. And then plan to chump block the root scale with Skyclave so I can pod the Witch Enchanter into a Solitude. Wait, what are they doing? You don't have Kozilek's command in your hand. What are they doing? They would have cast that on their turn. Oh, they just want to get it bigger, duh. Some Team RCs. Team RC would be really cool. I love team events. They might have drawn it. No, they were comboing on their turn. They haven't drawn since they first going. Can we beat them having infinite life if I Solitude? Right. I don't. Let's just play a couple turns before I think about if I'm gonna treat the Solitude as if it's infinite life. Yeah, they should have I think Scry drawn instead of gone after the guide. Yeah, let's just treat this as if it's infinite power for the purposes of Solitude. It's Christmas after all. There's a ballista. What's up?
Do you want to make cookies today?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
Sounds fun. Okay, so they're gonna go ping ping, and then we're gonna go grab planes. Have you gone hiking yet?
No, it started raining, but I did walk.
Okay. I guess it's probably too muddy for us to go.
Yeah, it'll be closed.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. And get a mile and a half.
Do you ever consider Ewit for Skyclave? We're gonna do that. We couldn't have cast the Skyclave here, but yes, we're gonna go Ewit for Skyclave. We're gonna chump block the Brood Scale, take 2. The next turn we go Skyclave, Brood Scale, play Birthing Ritual. Team Trios and Oklahoma City Land Run. I don't know what Land Run is. I've had a lot of good tournaments in Oklahoma City, though. Uh-oh. Okay, just a Fleshraker, not a K command. 1 card left over there. Why don't I stream in the evening? Sorry, I'm sorry I clocked out, boss. I'm a morning person. What do you want from me? Yeah, I stream full time. My hours are in the morning at the moment. I hope that's okay, boss. It's a lot of damage here. I might need to like exile Ballista and like try to find a second Skyclave. If you can't catch the streams though, they're available on YouTube. So I would have hit the other Skyclave. Can I ever... I guess I could sack the Ouphe and then Skyclave Ballista. I can sack Skyclave and Skyclave Fleshraker, and then my opponent's attacking for 7, and I'm at 7, so that sucks. I can exile Thief of Existence. I could also block. I could do that and block a 2/2 though. Anything else I can do? Okay, so I can sack Ouphe, exile Ballista, then trade the 2, then take 5. Like trade here. Okay, so sack Skyclave. Yeah, I think sacking Collector Ouphe and exiling Ballista is better than sacking Skyclave and exiling Fleshraker. Did you get to ping me for 1? That's okay. You can trade Skyclave for Fleshraker. Take 5, go to 1. We need them to like not top deck something to trigger Fleshraker, but it seems okay with how behind we are. Looks like they did draw a spell. A pretty good one in Blade of the Blood Chief. So now I am pretty dead. I guess we're not completely dead because you block like this. They grow the Fleshraker by sacking spawn. We go to 2. We could top deck like a Solitude, Ranger-Captain, Eternal Witness, Skyclave. Yeah, we got outs. Witch Enchanter maybe. Witch Enchanter into Solitude, I guess. Thraben Charm. Can't do nothing with that. 3 modes, can't do nothing with it. We're going to game 3. I'm going to play a second Teeg on the play. You have the Thraben Charms for the Sagas. Keep, I guess. Can get green mana off the second Flagstones, but not enough to cast a Ritual on turn 2. They could have pumped 1 creature before combat. Yeah, I thought they would, but they didn't. So I thought I was going to go to 1 instead of 2. Kim with 8 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Thraben Charm is on the short list of cards. I'm still surprised to see a fair amount of modern play. I mean, Really? Kill Saga, Graveyard Hate, kill creatures. It's three pretty good modes. Like this week, there's been a lot of like players coming back, and they're like, "Spike, I'm shocked that this modern staple sees play. I think this card is so bad." There's like a lot of comments like this. Card evaluation's tough, I guess, but there's a lot of like, "Spike, this modern staple looks awful." Doesn't feel like a marker. Yeah, I see. I know what you mean. Not sure if this is a good use of Ephemerate. It seems okay. So we could deal the 1 damage, or we could Ephemerate our Mite, and I think I like Ephemerating our Mite more so that a future witness will be better. My opponent says I cook them, so that's good news. All right, let's see what we could possibly get off the Haywire Mite, but I think maybe I would get Collector Ouphe. Okay, there's a Collector Ouphe or a Teeg. I would be more likely to get one of these if my opponent didn't go, "You cooked me" here. Yeah, I'm just gonna Stone Rain them. Let me know if you would have gotten Teeg or Ouphe there. It's a pretty interesting spot. I think I'm just gonna Stone Rain them. And largely because my opponent seems like maybe they don't have lands. Like if they're gonna say "You cooked me," they might stumble here. Yeah, maybe not. But also going like Skyclave into Ritual seems okay. Okay, Brood Scale, Temple, or Halfling. They choose Brood Scale. And they didn't play anything into my Skyclave either. I think I have enough Witch Enchanters and stuff in my deck to jam this. Teeg, Storm every play, cool. Yeah, it's cool that we have people saying all 3 things here. Those are always the best. Can't exile tokens. Those are always the best moments. Looking for a Witch Enchanter. Ding, ding, ding. There's also a Teeg, a Guide, a Pride. Let's go for Witch Enchanter. It's always good to get this in play too, because it can become a Solitude. And another Stone Rain. What's the best Thoughtseize deck? Mardu Energy. I have seen a lot of people complain about how Modern would be perfect if there was a viable Thoughtseize mid-range deck, but y'all just don't want to play Mardu Energy. Was Portico played turn 2? We got this Portico off the Flagstones. Alright, Temple, Ballista, Cavern, Forest. Just going back to Mars, I don't know. Yeah, it's okay, Beloved. That is the best one. It's Mardu Energy. I'm just commenting that a lot of people have been like, Modern sucks because there's no mid-range Thoughtseize deck, but that is actually the reality is that's actually the most popular deck in the format right now, or one of the most popular decks in the format. All right, so looking for a land, looking for love on this Christmas Eve. No thanks. I know we can pitch it, but I think we can do a bit better. Nice. 2 for 1, 2 for 1, 2 for 1. So there's a Teeg. There's also Collector Ouphe seems probably a bit better with them having the drum over there. Yeah, what they really mean is what is the most viable modern Thoughtseize deck that also plays red, green, black, and Tarmogoyf and Dark Confidant. Alright, that's a dub if their K command is just scry 1, draw 1 on turn 5. I think that was an above average top deck. What about a Thoughtseize Counterspell deck? It's kind of rare that you want to play a deck with both of those. But sometimes you want to do like a Reanimator deck that plays both of those. Death Shadow type stuff. When are we returning to the sewer? I want to play updated like Black White Nightmare. Although we lost Grief. Mardu Nightmare too. Could be good. Don't think I'm going to upkeep sack the Ranger Captain. There's an Orzhov list speaking some 5-0s. What's it look like? And it's Brood Scale, 3 mystery cards. They got to kill my Collector Ouphe if they want to combo me. Is there an upside to having friendly versus competitive modern leagues? That's how they used to do it. I don't know. I never really played the friendly leagues. I mean, it is Death and Taxes, but it looks pretty cool. This is like, if I was going to play a Death and Taxes style deck, that's how I would do it. They do have the K command? It looks like they do. Wait, can they go exile my Ranger Captain? Or sorry, exile my Collector Ouphe. They make 3 spawns. This allows them to... Wait, they can combo. Wow. They can cast the Brood Scale, equip it with 1 spawn, and then start the loop with the other one. I guess at this point I need to sack the Ranger Captain to stop them from winning with a Karn the Great Creator. And if they don't have a payoff, we win as their last card. But we're dead to a Glaring Fleshraker, and we're dead to a Walking Ballista. That's why Teeg was the better option to take. Well, they could have comboed me if I... Like... They would have also comboed me with the Teeg in play. Because the Teeg doesn't turn off the... They just cast Brood Scale, they combo. Opponent says, I didn't equip first, I punted. Ugh, brutal. Yeah, Teeg would have turned off the Kozilek's command, but it doesn't stop the combo. Give us the GG. GG to you two. An awesome match. Well fought. Can't remove Ouphe. Wait. Was the option not between Ouphe and Teeg? Because I thought the option was Ouphe or Teeg. If I could have had both in play, then I agree we should have done that. I don't remember that being an option. All right. Third Kolaghan's command? Third Kolaghan's command. Probably not getting the job done, though. It was between them. My pick would have been Teeg. Not saying it's the right one, but I would have picked Teeg. Well, you did say Teeg was the better option to take, so it is okay that you're saying Teeg was the right option. But you did say it was. A little semantics, I guess. Not really, but... Also, Teeg doesn't stop Ballista. That's maybe the disconnect. Okay, we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know. We have lethal, but getting Ephemerate's also lethal. I think I still have lethal even even without having the witness too. GG's. All right, let's get a trophy match going. Mardu Pyromancer with Lingering Souls. Listen, you can play Mardu Pyromancer Lingering Souls, but you have to be very whimsical every time you cast a spell, and be okay with like losing and crushing defeat every game. Otherwise, like if you want that feeling, you should play like Mardu Unearth with Oculus, which is plays very similar to how that deck used to. Young Pyromancer is also a top 10 card for me. I'm pretty far away from thinking about it in the context of Modern these days. Well, let's grab this. Well, I'm thinking I want to grab Haywire Mite here. I guess if I grab Haywire Mite, my next turn is just kind of awkward. Let's just not grab anything. GG's Young. I think you're a little too hard on yourself. It was okay. Easy deck to make some misclicks on. I thought the lines you took were for the most part right. You just made like one misclick. Think you could have Binding to my Jeskai list? I don't think I'd play Binding with like looting Deep Analysis probably, but you could. There's no rule against it, I suppose. You know what? I'm just gonna grab a second Ocelot Pride now. I might end up pitching one of them to a Solitude, but that's also fine. See, we find a Witch Enchanter here. I don't know if I'm going to target the Mox or whatever. Okay, I didn't find it. Yeah, I'm just going to turn this into another Ocelot Pride, though. If Young Pyro would restore 2 of the top 10, what do I think the other 8? Selesnya Charm, Jade Avenger, Archangel of Thune, Kolagon's Command. A lot of cards that I haven't streamed with, funny enough. Mystic Sanctuary might be top 10 for me. Should never be unbanned. Arc Like Phoenix is top 10. Got a few more slots. Not sure exactly what's in there, I guess. Maybe just take 9. We'll be gaining a few life points back. Or is that right? You know what? I don't actually think that's correct, because I think next turn I'm probably gonna go Witness cast Ocelot Pride, like pick up a land. Or if I draw a land, I'll pick up like a Solitude or another Ranger-Captain. Had a Deep Analysis field, just got control. It was good. It was just like loot away with looting for value, flip Tamio, pitch to Force Negation, good top deck. It was good. So I should have done that in response to Equip. So I probably just want to leave back both Ocelot Prides to have 2 first striking power against a Frogmite here. Oh, they have a counterspell. Sure. So instead, let's go ahead and fly Ocelot, fly. I think I'll take another Guide of Souls. Is Faithless Looting Flip Tamio turn 2 just all in on ulting worth exploring? I don't think it's like your deck should not be all in on ultimating Tamio, but Tamio plus Faithless Looting is good together because you can, yes, ultimate it quickly or get value -2 quickly. But you don't need to be all in on it. It could just be a feature of some decks like Izzet Phoenix and the Jeskai Looting Control. Mr. Sarah, 45-month resub. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you too, my friend. So is Guide the best one-drop ever printed? Maybe not, but it's close. Maybe top 3 after Ragavan, Deathred Shaman. I don't know. I don't know if I put Ragavan up there as high. Like I think Tamio is better than Ragavan. I think Guide and Pride are clearly better than Ragavan. There's Deathred Shaman. I think I might still put Shaman over the other ones, but it's weird, right? Because like Shaman is good in the mid-range decks. It's good in like the Green Sun Zenith creature combo decks. It's good in like Necro Dominance. It just kind of goes in literally every deck. So it's kind of tough. I don't know. Yeah, Channeler is also better than Ragavan. Channeler is really good. They can move plating. Oh, I mean, it's okay if they move plating and kill Guide, I guess. But I did miss the line. Yeah, Channeler is insane for sure. A Boreal Grazer also, like in modern at least, is certainly a top 5 1-mana creature, if not just kind of the best, and nobody even thinks about that one. Yeah, I think Negergoyf is also better than Ragavan. I agree. Yeah, Ragavan still sees a little bit of play in Mardu Energy. Earlier this morning, someone said that they were arguing online, and whoever they were arguing with insulted me and said that I was out of touch and irrelevant, and that Tomio's only role in Modern was to block Ragavan, which is very funny. It is very funny just because like that. Tomio was so much better than Ragavan, and Ragavan barely sees any play. It's just like. I love calling me out of touch with like the most out of touch comment. Yeah, Tomio is so good. Tomio is just so good. She just is so much card advantage and also board control for 1 mana. It just is. Tomio is bananas. So we probably go like -2 White Orchid Phantom, -1 Ranger-Captain. Honestly, like, is 2/2 First Strike just unbeatable for them? Not unbeatable, but it seems like Cranial Plating is just hilariously bad against it. Also, they probably don't have that many basics, and they probably have, like, they at least have the Sagas. So maybe we can go like down a Witness, down a Thraben Charm. Maybe just down to 1 Thraben Charm. Let's just play 0. Let's play 0 against them. We just have plenty of answers to Saga like this. Let's do that. I don't think Channeler is better than Ragavan overall. Channeler is better than Modern. Ragavan's better than Legacy. That's true, yeah. I mean, it's a conversation. Like, do you factor like Vintage, Commander into this too? Ragavan's probably better in both of those formats. Channeler is better than in Modern, I agree. It's a convo. This hand's kind of slow on the draw, but I think we can give it a go. Remember when they made Tibalt bad, but 2 mana. Surely a 2 mana Planeswalker is worth something. Wait, what? Are you comparing Tibalt to Tomio? Or what? Tomio's 1 mana. Channeler Def better than Commander. I mean, I don't know what's going on over there. I have a Ragavan in my Magna deck. I don't have a Channeler in my Magna deck. They mulligan the 6 also. Could you explain Thraben Charm in this deck a bit? Is it a good card in many matchups? Yeah, it's a good card in many matchups. So what's cool about this deck is that you're really a control deck where you're trying to get to the late game, and what you're trying to do is assemble Eternal Witness plus Ephemerate plus something to lock your opponent out of the game. And this is why I'm not playing Orim's Chant, because there's just a different card that locks any given opponent out of the game. So you can loop Ranger-Captain to make sure they can't cast non-creature spells. You can loop Thraben Charm as Graveyard Hate or as creature removal. What's the third mode? Creature removal, Graveyard Hate. Yeah, or I guess in theory Enchantment Hate, which is less relevant. My opponent also has Rebuke here. I'm not sure how we're going to play around that. I guess we need to think about which would we rather resolve. Yeah, actually, I think going White Orchid Phantom plus Ephemerate next turn is pretty good. So let's do this. So Thraben Charm is just one of these things. You also can loop Solitude. You can loop Skyclave Apparition. You can loop White Orchid Phantom. That's the idea. Is eventually you're going to loop these things with Witness to like control the game. And I think Thraben Charm just gives you the kind of versatility. It's also early game removal spell. Just does a lot. There's also a lot of Urza Sagas right now. Is Shaman too powerful based on the recent unbans? If you unban Deathrite Shaman, you would not break the format with it. Shaman was not like, even really breaking the format originally. It was just like a pretty good card. The problem with Deathrite Shaman is it being a hybrid mana cost means it goes in so many decks. You can play it in Mono Black Midrange. It's as a mana dork. You can play it in Yawgmoth. You can play it in Mardu Midrange. You could play it in just way too many decks. I think it's just so ubiquitous of a card. It just goes everywhere. And I don't think that's a good thing. Okay, so they got a second basic island. We have Ephemerate here. Or sorry, we have Eternal Witness to buy back Ephemerate rather. So I'm gonna go ahead and Ephemerate on upkeep, and we could target this, and even if they do have an island, we're at the very least tapping their land, and then we can upkeep, either target something else, or we can target our flagstones and ramp a bit, and then start looping Ephemerate some more. Okay, and they are out of basics. Cool. Just didn't think they could be playing that many, right? What about Punishing Fire? I mean, Punishing Fire is kind of like not the funnest card ever, but it'd be okay. I was in favor of abandoning it before. I don't know if I still am necessarily. Do we ever block Ephemerate? I think that our life total is high enough we don't care so much. Although, like, this is a lot bigger than I expected it to be, maybe. Was Ephemerate in their draw step better? I mean, it's just kind of bad if they can counter it. They top deck a counter spell. Thoughts on the Jeskai Wizard? Jeskai Wizard is fine. Yeah, I think I'm okay just like Boseijuing the construct this turn. Ramping some. I think we get basic forest and then surveil land. I'm just so confused that we're coming off a ban of it goes in everything card. And people are asking whether it could unban a less egregious goes in everything. Yeah, like the problem with Ring is it goes in every deck. Shaman goes in every deck. And, I wouldn't have unbanned looting either. I think I tend to have I think a much more conservative attitude when it comes to unbans than Wizards of the Coast does even. I wanted safer unbans than this, which would have been like Umazawa's Jite, Splinter Twin pretty safe, I think, clearly at this point. And then maybe Birthing Pod, which I think is safer than Green Sun even. They chose to take a higher risk, higher fun route, which is fine. And maybe they have the resources to test this environment, which is fine too. Yeah, I want to block Sack, so I'm gonna wait on this Haywire Mite. I'm gonna go after the Jar so I can Boseiju the construct potentially. Triple Thought Monitor. Oh baby. Yeah, but looting is very fun. Again, I would never have unbanned looting without testing this kind of stuff. And looting has been really good. Oh, sorry. Quad Thought Monitor. Pod is not safer than Green Sun Law. I mean, you can say this. Pod is not safer than Green Sun Law. I've literally tested it on this stream, and I feel really confident that Green Sun Zenith is a stronger modern card than Birthing Pod, but it's okay to disagree. Could you articulate an argument why Birthing Pod would be stronger than Green Sun Zenith? And if your argument is the Yawgmoth deck, I've tested in Yawgmoth, and it's weirdly clunky. You have basically no good threes to pot into Yawgmoth. The extra tax on your life total is really, really relevant in that deck specifically. And I think Birthing Pod would see no play in any other deck. Kiki Pod would not be a competitive deck. I think Pod is weaker than Twin. I agree. Pod is worse than Birthing Ritual. You know what I mean? Is another thing too. I think the card Birthing Ritual is stronger than the card Birthing Pod, which is also kind of a weird dynamic. Yeah, small sample size for sure, but at the very least, I have something to point to my thoughts on why I don't think it'd be as good. I think my small sample size is maybe more relevant than it wouldn't be better. Lol, you know what I mean? Okay, we're gonna Boseiju the construct and then Ephemerate the witness here. I think Pod wins most of the time. It resolves off of a Pod into a 2-drop, where Green Sun is a value card. Pod wins most of the time. It resolves off Pod into a 2-drop. Stop with the draw twos. Is this true? Okay, you can if you can win if you go Pod into 2-drop and your opponent has no creature removal. If your deck sucks, if your deck is just full of Corridor Monitors and Deceiver Exarchs and Restoration Angels and Kiki Jikis, you can win. It's very expensive on your life total. This is, I think, much worse than Brood Scale combo, which is just much cheaper. Much cheaper. It's they're just better combos than that. You know what I mean? There are many better combos than that. In fact, I think Green Sun is, Green Sun in Titan is a huge combo card, like compared to like Pod, which I think is kind of more of a value card. And I don't think any of us can say these things like for sure, one way or another without testing them completely. Oh, okay, this is pretty good. I'm saying the deck sucks when it's just an instant win turn 2. I mean, and I'm telling you, you can't win turn 2 with you cannot win turn 2 with Birthing Pod. Can you win turn 2? It costs 4 mana to play and activate. How do you win turn 2? So I guess we're gonna Boseiju the boots now. Maybe with multiple opals. I mean, you're never like multiple opening Birthing Pod deck, I think. Does that actually sounds sick though. But yeah, but like if your opponent's playing a linear Birthing Pod deck, I think that's just so fine. Their card quality is just so low. Like in this format, you can turn 1 Neoform into Allosaurus and Neoform your Allosaurus Rider into Gristlebrand. It's just fine, I think. Yeah, Affinity's a playable deck now. I'm down to 11. This Kappa Cannoneer is pretty scary. Let's grab Boseiju, which we could Boseiju the Kappa Cannoneer and pay for ward. Any Urza deck I'd recommend? I was playing Urza with like an Ademir Basim shell. It felt kind of fine. And I of course, as always, I'm just trying to have a spirited conversation about Magic the Gathering. This is not a super serious thing. Okay, some interesting draws here. I can go Ephemerate Eternal Witness, get back Birthing Ritual, cast Birthing Ritual, cast Collector Ouphe. Merry Christmas to you too. Insane chatter. I don't know if y'all saw that with the moderation settings. Merry Christmas. Yeah, Gaddock Teeg, you're pretty nice. I think we're just going to Boseiju the Kappa Cannoneer, pay for ward, chump block the construct. No Ephemerate for land drop. Well, the problem is we won't have Ephemerate on the rebound, so I was thinking of saving it for Skyclave or a top deck. So now what do we do? Boseiju Construct, Boseiju Thought Monitor, take 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, let's go game 3. What a draw. Alright, game 3 on the play. People all 30 months, thank you, welcome back. I just wish you could play Electrolyze again. Can I show you the Flame of Anor? Power Crept Electrolyze. Why Ouphe over Kataki? It's better against Belcher, which is, I think, pretty important. Also, I don't know, we have a lot of, like, we have main deck hate, like, we're main decking Mite, we're main decking Witch Enchanter, so, like, yes, Kataki is good against them, but, like, I don't know, like, how much better we need to be against Affinity. Like, even just Guide and Pride by themselves, like you saw in game 1, like, they just kind of couldn't beat it. We might get Whip Flared again. So they don't have Metallic Rebuke up. Is it ever better to kill Drum than to kill Saga here? Probably not. Why Ouphe instead of Stony Silence? Because we're a Birthing Ritual deck. That'll be $5 a month for the rest of your life. Then we need Basic Forest here. I carried a whole conversation comparing Flame of Anor to Hypothesizzle, not realizing it was 2 mana cheaper. What is Hypothesizzle? Draw 2, may discard an online card when you deal deals 4 damage to target target creature. Wow. And Flame is still better. It's cool. I mean, I think it's kind of good to compare like constructed playable cards to like powerful limited cards too. Don't actually think it's a bad use of your time to think about it. Okay, another Mid-Mite, 2 cards in their hand. Got some very good hits off this Birthing Ritual. In fact, I think I'm just going to surveil main phase, looking a bit deeper for Collector Ouphe. Although I guess this is worse of a hit, Haywire Mite, to have done this main phase. Can't hit that, though. So I'm going to stack the triggers to where the ritual resolves before the Ocelot Pride, so if I hit just Guide of Souls, I can get an extra life point here. I do find the Collector Ouphe. Let's get that, please. Sorry about this. Merry Christmas, Affinity opponent. Sorry about that. At least it's not Kataki. Yeah, revenge for the whip flare, I guess. We've had one Collector Ouphe, yes, but what about second Collector Ouphe? We saw that they aren't playing Basic Mountain either, so I guess they could have Spire of Industry plus Whip Flare. Why does Affinity never seem to break into the meta since Opal ban? Now, but with Unban still seems weak. Well, it doesn't seem weak, or is it just that like there's super effective sideboard cards that crush it? Maybe that's not so different, those two things, but this is this is kind of an interesting thing to talk about now. One thing I think that modern players are not used to is healthy metagame rotations, where a style of deck is good for a time, and then another style of deck kind of rises to prominence to be good against that kind of thing. It's been a long time since we've had that in Modern. Like just a healthy metagame rotation. And so could there be a case where people don't play, like Mox Opal decks are hated out, and so people stop playing Mox Opal decks for a while, and they start play, and then Mox Opal decks become more viable because there's this rotation. I would hope that can be the case again, but yes, it's been a long time since modern gamers have really experienced this dynamic, I think. Okay, I think I'm just gonna grab nothing. I want to sack the Ranger-Captain and upkeep because I just don't really know how we lose if we do this. Do you think image sets are helpful to healthy metagame rotations? I think that MH2 was based in cool, and I think MH1 and 3 and Lord of the Rings were not. Alright, playing for the 5-0. Already did our prediction. Plenty of standard sets that were worse than MH1. MH2 based in cool, though. You're not at me. I'm probably going to go to 5 here. This hand just has like nothing going on. TBH looting doesn't seem too broken. I think it's the best card in Modern right now, but kind of play some Graveyard Hate, I guess. Let's do this. Was Assassin's Creed based? I don't know. I thought it was okay. It didn't break anything, and I love Basim, and there's a couple of French cards too. I think it did its job. Yeah, Eldraine and Ikora and Theros and just all of those were worse than MH1. MH2 maybe worst ever. Or MH3 worst ever. MH2 based in cool. All right, well, multi 5 get Thoughtseize, but we have an Ocelot Pride. Minus Evoke Elementals, so that image 2 was very good. Yeah, I mean, I even like the Evoke Elementals. I think they're fine. I think Griefin's Fury could not coexist in a post-Lurist world. They could coexist pre-Lurist BAM. And Grief was unfun, but I don't know. Fury too good with beans also. At the very least, like Fury and Grief are the ones that you can be Like, those two are questionable for sure. But Subtlety, Solitude, Endurance? Bangers. All bangers. Mull to 5 against John. We now know how they can win some games. I'm going to go and do this now. Yeah, we top like a Birthing Ritual. We're kind of fine. Not really too many other good draws besides like Ocelot Pride. Second Guide is not the worst. How broken is no bans minus Lurrus? Lurrus is the only ban card still. Kind of based. Pretty broken. No banless Modern's fun though. Oh, sorry. Obviously, this is creativity. What am I saying? Obviously, this was creativity. Okay, so we also are Orvarless, which is maybe a mistake. I kind of just wanted to play the matchup a little bit more. It's been a long time. Like, we had to like loop Ranger-Captain. I don't want to sound condescending, but why play green-white energy? You can play Boris or Marty. What makes green-white superior strategy? That's a good question. I don't think you're condescending. So one thing is, this is kind of a different archetype from Mardu or Boros. That's kind of like a more aggressive, Thoughtseize-based mid-range deck. This is like Eternal Witness control, like where you're playing a slow game, where you're Eternal Witness ephemerating, looping Solitude, looping Ranger-Captain, looping Thraben Charm. Birthing Ritual is also an incredible advantage engine in this archetype. It's a very good one. Yeah, I think I don't want the Thraben Charms. I think we'll play Endurance over them. Seems like a fine build. But it's in some ways, yes, like you're still playing Guide of Souls and Ocelot Pride, right? That's almost where the overlap ends. Maybe some builds are playing Ranger-Captain, but you're almost like a completely different archetype. So it's kind of like comparing Izzet Phoenix to Mono Red Phoenix, where like one is like just an interactive deck and one isn't. I think I'm mulliganing the 5-lander. Another 5-lander. Let's keep it on 6. Yeah, I think this deck has also historically just performed very well. I think it doesn't have too many big weaknesses. We might be bad against this creativity player. We've also built the 5 and 6, which certainly doesn't help. I'm gonna surveil here on turn 1 instead of playing the guide. Junk creativity doesn't play too many basics, so is it worth it to keep in the Phantoms? Yeah, it might have been worth it to keep in the Phantoms. That's true. I thought that they were on like 2, but maybe if they're only on 1, that could be a good angle of attack. All right, this is what I was kind of hoping that like find hate for this, and no persist for you. Do I think they did a lot of testing for the unbans? I would guess that they did almost no testing, would be my guess, but I don't know. I don't work for Wizards. I hope that they did, but I I would think that they didn't. Just based on the general vibes I get from Wizards of the Coast. I would assume that they had maybe like 2 or 3 meetings theory crafting. I think Twin and Green Sun were perfectly safe. I don't think Green Sun's perfectly safe because of Amulet Titan, but I think that they were more safe than Opal and Looting for sure. And so far, Modern seems really good. I think it's been 8 days now. It's been good. Things have been good and fun. I'm not complaining. Yeah, the complaining may change. So they did already discard 1 creativity. Hopefully they don't have another one. In the BNR stream, they referenced flowcharts for which cards are unbanned, but not a lot of testing. Yeah. But like, of course we would love for them to test, but like I also don't know how the play design team is supposed to keep up with all the set releases and also test all the time. It seems so impossible. Might be doable. What change made creativity come back? So looting plus persist gives the deck a lot more nut draws and card selection, and Ring being banned made Archon of Cruelty a lot better. So my opponent's already used 2 bolts, and also I'm kind of behind here, so I think I need to make something happen with this Ephemerate. Okay, I was like, do they have Revolt? They did have Revolt though. Fewer set releases. Yeah, I mean, I guess so, but like this is also something I like to talk about too. Is it's like I like to be pretty critical of the executive decisions that are made over at Wizards of the Coast. I think the vast majority of bad decisions are made by out of touch executives over there. But it's like the play design team is not the one responsible for the quantity of set releases. It's the executives at Wizards of the Coast who are like, give me two more sets. Also we're laying off 20% of the play design people. You want to keep your fucking job? Give us more sets. Like this is the dynamic that's happening, right? They just top deck this? I guess they were waiting a turn. This is the dynamic, and it's not a very good dynamic, it seems. All right, Witch Enchanter not going to do it. But we can't blame the play design team for the quantity of set releases. It's definitely on the executive side. Okay, so 4-1 and a 4-0 and a 4-1, not a trophy. I really like this deck. I would recommend it. I do think we need some Orvars in the sideboard. I wanted to play this matchup at least once before I lock that in. It seems like you could probably go down on Damping Spheres. You could maybe play one less Haywire Mite. One less Haywire Mite's probably fine with all the Witch Enchanters. The Teegs are pretty good. Teegs are probably good. Yeah, maybe you cut like 1 Mite, 2 Damping Sphere, 1 Mite, 1 Damping Sphere, 1 Sanctifier for 3 Orvar. I think I went 3 Orvar. Maybe. That seemed really bad. But I think a good deck overall. I think we've got ourselves a nice conclusion to today's stream. I'm gonna go eat some lunch. I'm gonna spend some Christmas Eve with Esther. Try to enjoy.